Okay, 24, Season 7, Episode 11, or 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This was the first part of a 2-hour episode thing that they had going on Monday. So I'm just going to talk about this 11th episode first. So it looks like things have cleared up. It's almost as if, like I said, that they ended a season and started a new one after 10 hours. So now things, even though we have the same villains and a lot of the same ideas going on, it feels like we've moved on to a new villain and something very close to a new plot line. One quick thing. I forgot to mention in the last video, I completely forgot to mention the hospital scene with Marika's sister. It makes sense to me that Marika's sister would react like that after, her sister died. Be very distraught. And we've seen throughout the episodes that she was in that that's the kind of person she is. That's how it makes sense to me. That's how she would react in a situation like that. So, it's reasonable. The Jack and Renee exchange really annoyed me. It's not that I think it's unrealistic. I agree that something like that could happen in real life, but it was annoying to me that I had to listen to this because I don't want to have Jack Bauer be put in those terms. I don't want it. I think all this time we've just accepted that that's the kind of person he is. That's been an absolute, and I really don't want that to be questioned. Anyway, moving on to this episode, Tony has used a source to find out that it's not over. And meanwhile, actually, over in Sangala, America is just like running all over the terrorists or whatever, the rebels, the savages, whatever you want to call them. Running all over them. You remember how Shaquille O'Neal used to dominate David Robinson? Kind of like that. And they're trying to find Juma, General Juma, the leader of this whole thing, but can't find him. Meanwhile, Yubaku is clinging on for dear life at a hospital. Kept alive on life support and all that. And a guy sneaks in and injects him with something that gives him a massive heart attack because, well, Juma needed him dead now. And that's exactly what happens. Renee manages to figure out that something covert happened to him, and using a array of hidden security cameras, manages to figure out who did it, track that person to a location. Jack is at the White House, and he knows that the assistant to Senator John Mayer, Senator Mayer, knows about the attack, has been working with the Juma regime this whole time, so he deletes his name from the list of traitors so he can get some private time with him. And things really start to escalate. He sneaks through the White House. He looks at stuff he's not supposed to look at to figure out where the assistant to mayor is. I can't even remember his name. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. But he does locate him, and using a stun gun, it's actually kind of a interesting scene because I did not know that stun guns worked like that. I didn't know it fired out a little device attached to a string. I never knew that's how it worked. It's kind of weird. Anyway, there's another torture scene going on, and we have these same conversations brought back up. Torture, is it right? Should it be legal? Should it be illegal? Is it morally correct? And as he is doing this, the president is attempting to convince Senator Mayer to drop the charges against Jack and allow him to basically go free. And I guess this guy is, big time against it because he doesn't want to do that. He legitimately wants Jack Bauer to hang for this, basically. That's really what's important to him. So they're talking about it, they're discussing it. All the meanwhile, he's doing a wonderful job proving the senator right. I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't have done what he did. I get why he did it, and he's doing what he needs to do as his job, but it was kind of funny. And they find out they have to arrest him even though he had gotten a confession out of the guy and was just about to get the new target of the terrorists. But he gets pulled away by the president and a couple other men. just before he can get it out. And of course, all the president can do is offer immunity, and that doesn't work. He doesn't care. You get more of this "I want my lawyer" stuff. So, Jack, he shouldn't have answered the phone. Once he answered the phone, the dude knew that all I have to do is wait a couple seconds and somebody will come stop him. Should not have answered the phone. Just keep, he had to keep pressing because he got close. Anyway, this sparks the entire discussion between all parties involved. Is there another attack imminent? Is this the true... Excuse me. Is what Jack did okay? They ultimately do have him arrested, but it sparks all this crap that's going on and on. Meanwhile, Renee has followed the Dubaku's murder to a warehouse where Juma and about 12 other armed military-like men board a boat headed toward the target, whatever it may be. But in a surprising display of stupidity from Renee Walker, she jumps onto the boat, loses her gun, breaks her cell phone, and, she doesn't have anything. She can't contact the FBI. She can't defend herself in any way, shape, or form against these much bigger and stronger men. They don't even know she's on the boat. So, I don't know. I thought this was ridiculously stupid by her. I don't know. I think she was a little too decisive. Like, she didn't decide to jump on the boat until it was already moving, which screwed everything up. I think she should have decided, I'm going to go get on the boat immediately, opposed to waiting for it to start moving. I don't know. Anyway, she spies on some conversations in there and starts to try and figure things out. She manages to learn that the White House is the target through some spying and rifling. And she's about to leave the boat, but she's spotted by one of the guards who was left. One guy was left behind on the boat to guard stuff, and she gets spotted, swims away, and the chase is on. Meanwhile, all of Juma's men, along with Juma, have scuba dived, and it's really hard to take the villains seriously when they're wearing scuba gear. It looks too funny, but they dive underwater and go underneath the White House and start drilling up into it. I wonder if there really is... I'll get to this in the next video, actually. But, anyway. An attack is imminent. I think that's about everything that happened in this video. So, I'm going to move on to episode 12 in the next one. Bye-bye.